Hey guys, welcome to the episode 31st of the Artistic Show slash podcast, depends on wherever you're listening to me. And today I have a special one for you in mind. But first, I want to have a little confession with you guys. Confession. That confession is I am tired of sitting down there. Let me tell you something about me. I am more of a moving kind of person. Like I love to move, when I talk, I love to do a lot of movements. I am calm and comfortable. I'm not like this moving all the time. But I'm more of an energetic kind of person. So I love to have that energy, but sitting down here, you cannot move that much while you're sitting. You can just do something like this or something else. But you can move. आप नीचे बैठे हो तो आप इतना move नहीं कर सकते. That's the truth. That's the fact. But I'm floor gang. Whatever. Like I love floors. Elon Musk. Just like Elon Musk. Elon, my brother, you love floor. I love floors. We are the same. So, ये काटा है. Okay. So I want to ask you a question. I want to tell you actually something, not a question. By the way, I start every of my podcast, everything with a question, but this is not with a question. Let me tell you a story. If you ask me, this is a question that like goes in the reverse cycle. So if you ask me, why are you the way you are today? Like why are you this crazy little stupid kind of person? Why are you this? Why do you talk? Why do you record videos? Why do you do all of this? Like if you ask me seriously, if you ask me why I am the way I am today, I'll only give you one answer. There are a lot of factors, but I'll only give you one answer, and that is, write this down: self-learning, self-learning, self-education. That's why I am the way I am. You see, if I depended, I realized in my life that if I depend on this college education, on this system of education, I am doomed for life. Like, really, it's not going to give me anything. It's going to give me the skills and everything to make me a worker. And I knew that's not who I am. I know that's not where I want to be. I don't want to be a worker. I don't want to settle for a job. That's just not who I am. That's just not who I want to be in my life. That's not the standard I have for myself. That's just not my identity. Like I talked to you about identity of a previous in some of my previous episodes. That's just not who I am. That's not who I attach to myself with. Like a job, me, that's like get out even. Like not I'm not a job person. So I knew in the system, if I am in the system and I'm following whatever they're giving me, I'm just following everything, and then I'll become a great worker, but I'll have no skill except for work skills. I'll have no skills, no nothing, and then my life would also be where I don't want it to be. So I'll be miserable in life. So I had much pain attached to that process. So I said, okay, let's do one thing. Let's go to YouTube, and I've been doing that for so long. Let's go to YouTube, and then let's find out what I'm passionate about. I knew what I was passionate about. I'll tell you something. Do you know what I was passionate about a few years ago, 2 3 years ago? You won't even believe me. I was passionate about physics. Like I don't even talk about physics by now, but I was passionate about physics. I loved physics. Physics was what I breathed. Like literally, I was so excited about physics कि मुझे ख्वाब भी आइंस्टाइन के आते थे. आइंस्टाइन के मुझे ख्वाब आते थे. 2 3 दफ़ा मुझे याद है आइंस्टाइन के ख्वाब आए मुझे. मैं और आइंस्टाइन बैठे हुए हैं. I'm like, how are you, Einstein brother? Let's talk. And then I was just like talking with him. I really loved physics, and Albert Einstein was why I loved physics. I loved Albert Einstein, and then I was like, let's do this. Physics is my thing. So do you know what happened is, I found this academy. I found this thing online, this website online. It was khanacademy.com, and khanacademy.com is a really great website. And then I said, okay, I want to learn physics, but I want to learn it the higher level. I don't want to learn what were those things that you learn? What does SI unit is? Those are basic stuff. I can learn that. That's easy. But I want to learn relativity, if you know what that is. And I want to learn quantum physics. That's like the father of physics. Quantum physics is like the great grandfather of physics. Quantum physics. So do you know what I did? I went to Khan Academy, and this is a true story. I had my science paper yesterday. I was not even in physics by that time. It was all science to me. So I went to Khan Academy, and I knew I have a science paper tomorrow. But do you know what I did? I took lectures on physics, on relativity, although I didn't understand most of them. On relativity, on quantum physics, I understood quantum physics because that was simple over there. So I understood that, and then that was what I was learning. Do you know another passion I had? Programming. Like programming is the farthest thing from me now. But I had a passion for it at that time. So do you know what I did? I download courses. And a true story is मैंने अपने कंप्यूटर में लिनक्स इंस्टॉल कर ली थी. I didn't know how, I didn't do it, but I did do it. I just installed Linux, all the data in my computer. Windows में सारा data था, and that was not just mine. That we had a lot of important data. So all of it was wiped out. And then true story. My dad, he calls he's a very good friend of him, and उन्होंने उनको कॉल किया to recover this data and वो कंप्यूटर को भी फिक्स कर दें, क्योंकि मैंने लिनक्स इंस्टॉल तो कर ली थी, but I didn't know how to reverse that. So he called him and he was like, wait a minute, you are telling me कि इसने लिनक्स इंस्टॉल कर ली है? And he was like, yeah, what's the big thing? Like लिनक्स इंस्टॉल कर लिया like this. And I was like really young at that time, like really. So I was like, wow, like I did that. I was like, I was like ashamed. I was ashamed, but I was like, I did that. So, you know, I learned everything online. I learned, I knew what I wanted. I knew what I was passionate about. And then I went onto the internet and I downloaded courses and I found out everything. And then I started learning it step by step. So, you see, that's the big difference. Could an education system teach me that? No, not in a million years, because that's not in their curriculum, that's not in their syllabus. They won't teach me that, because why? You are not here to learn programming or physics, for God's sakes. You are here to learn what we are here to teach you, and we are here to teach you what to think. And if you think anything beyond that, you are doomed. So that's what the education system gives us. So self-learning to me is the most important thing you can do right now. Really, if you want to take the responsibility of your life, do self-learning. Learn for yourself. And self-learning starts with you knowing who you are. Because if you don't even know who you are, how are you going to learn? You're never going to know what to learn, because there are a million things. But you need to know what is the thing that you want, so you can start to develop the skills. And let me tell you something. Do you know what's the big difference between successful people and the people who are not so successful? The big difference is both of them want good things. Everybody wants good things. Like everybody wants a nice car, everyone wants a big house, everybody wants more zeros in the end of their bank account. But the only people who get that is when they want a new thing or a new dream, or they want to learn something new. They don't say, they watch somebody who's already doing that, and they don't say that I can never do that. They don't say, maybe I'm just not built like that. It's like you tell a baby, when he falls for the first 10 times, he starts to crawl, and then he starts learning to walk, and then he falls and falls and falls and falls again and again. It's like you tell him, maybe you should stop. Maybe walking is not for you. Would you ever tell that to a baby of yours? Like, maybe walking is not for you. Maybe you're just made for crawling. Like, you will never tell your baby that, because he's going to fall until he learns to walk. Wow, it's like a magic formula. Why don't you apply that to your life? Why don't you learn? Why don't you practice and fall and then practice until you get good at it? The only difference is, when they want to learn a new skill, when people want to learn a new skill, the high performers, the successful people, they go, how can I learn this? How can I learn this and then practice it regularly so I can improve every day at it? While the not so successful people, they go, maybe I'm not just like this. I can never do that. That's not me. They make statements. While the successful people, they ask questions. That's the difference, question and statements. So what a statement does to you is, it puts a full stop in your mind. A statement tells you what to think. A question tells you how to think, how to look for answers. You see, you will not find answers if you're not looking for them. Answers are there. Abundance is there. But if you don't look for it, if you don't ask for it, you will never find it. There's a great saying from Bible, but I think it's a fact. And it goes, seek and you shall find. If you're not seeking, you'll not find. That's easy, that's simple, that's basic, but that's true. You will never, ever, ever find if you're not seeking, if you're not looking. That's what successful people do. They find, they look, they always, always seek. And so they find. They find answers. They find how to do that. They find how to be great. They find all those answers because they ask themselves the questions in the first place. That's what the unsuccessful people are not doing. They're not asking themselves even the question. They're telling them statements like, I am not worthy of it. I am not just like that. Maybe I am not made to walk. Maybe I'm just made to crawl. Like that are the things that we are telling ourselves. And that's what needs to stop. And man, I'm tired of sitting here. But still, you and I, we have a conversation going on. So, self-learning, as I was saying, when you are introduced to a new thing, it's new to you. Think about the first time you were in the driver's seats. You didn't know what to do. There were a million things. There was the steering, there was the gear, and there was the brake and the accelerator, everything. And you didn't know what to do. But then eventually you got yourself into that environment again and again until you figured out the answer. Why don't you do that with your life? Why don't you do that with a new skill? You see, dreams, they feel like they're a big thing, but in reality they are not. It's just the science of achievement that you have to master. It's a science. If you follow the steps, you can achieve anything you want. The dreams are not big thing. If you break them down into simple little steps, you'll see that they are much more achievable than you think they are. You'll go beyond your wildest dreams if you break them down into little steps. If you break that dream of yours and you set that into a goal, the difference between a dream and a goal is, a dream is just like, I want that. Okay, a goal is, by when? In 40 years, in 50 years, in 60 years, maybe after you're dead? When do you want that? A goal is nothing but a dream with deadline. That's what a goal is. And then when you start to break down that goal into your plan, and you start to schedule it, that is when it gets real. When you schedule it, that's when it gets real. That's what I learned from my mentor, Tony Robbins. He said that, it's a dream, it's like, okay, when it's a plan, it looks much more achievable. And when you schedule it, it's real. It's like real, you got it. When you schedule it and you practice it and you do it with consistency. And by the way, how do I know all of that? Maybe I'm just so smart. No, I'm not. I'm not smart. I just learned all of that. Self-learning. That's the gift I want you to give yourself. Know what you want. The first step is know what you want, and then develop a plan for learning. Just develop a plan to learn from the best. And by the way, you might ask me, okay, you say me to learn. How do I learn? Simple. There are two ways to learn. Two ways to mastery, I believe. And the first way is you go out into the jungle and you say, okay, here I am. And you know what you want. You know where you want to go. But you don't know the way. So you say, okay, I'll just go into this direction and then I'll figure out, and then maybe I'll go into this direction and then I'll figure out, and then maybe I'll go into this direction and then maybe this direction, and maybe after 10 years or 20 years I'll get to my destination. Do you think that way is effective? I think not. The second way is you find someone who's been there. You find someone who's been where you want to be, where you want to end up. By the way, you won't end up there. You'll always want to go ahead, but you just find someone who is there, who is where you want to be. And then you go to hit that guy and you ask him, you request him. You ask him for guidance. You ask him to give you advice. You ask him to give you the tips, the tools, the tricks that he used to get to where he is today. And by the way, how much time does that save you? A decade. That's how much time it saves you. Because you're just squeezing his life experience, his decades into days. That's what learning is about. That's what modeling is about. you go and you model that person, you squeeze decades into days. Let me tell you something. I never modeled. When I was introduced to this concept of modeling, I thought it was BS. I didn't believe it. Do you know why? Because I thought that if I model that guy, if I walked on his path, where am I? Where is my uniqueness? Where is my significance? Who will I be if I just walk on his path? And this ego inside of me, this ego to be myself, this ego of uniqueness, of significance, I fed my ego while my growth and my learning it started. I was way behind. I was not learning. Just because I was saying I need to be unique, I need to have my own identity, I need to be significant. So by significant, for that significance, I stopped learning because I thought I am being unique. If I don't learn, I'm creating my own path, and that is the biggest single mistake you can make. If you say I'm not going to learn just because I want to have my own uniqueness, it's okay. You will have your own uniqueness, but you won't have that greatness, that mastery inside of you if you continue down that path. You are feeding your ego while your learning it starves. It really starves, and you need to feed that. You need to set yourself aside for a bit. And by the way, when you're learning, you're modeling. That does not mean for single second that you are sacrificing your own uniqueness or you're sacrificing your own significance in any way. You are being yourself. You take those concepts and it's just you grow yourself. It's more of like not sacrificing yourself. It's more of like expanding yourself. It's more of like opening up to new possibilities. It's more of like just you just get to the higher level of consciousness just by learning, just by going up to that person and ask him, okay, hello sir, hello mister, can you teach me what you do? You ask, and let me tell you something about these people. These people, they are really helpful because they are successful and they have climbed a mountain and they want to help you. They want to guide you. Most of them, they want to guide you, so they will actually teach you about how they did it, and you can learn that and you can squeeze decades into days, my friend. Do you know why I love books? Do you know why I love books? Just because it is the experience of somebody of a lifetime. And then if I read that book, let's say in 1 month, I got the experience of a lifetime in 1 month. What's better than that? If I can use that and I can save myself from a lot of mistakes. I'll still make mistakes. I'll still make F-ups. I'll still have hurdles and challenges. But then I saved myself from a lot of hurdles and challenges that somebody just went through. That's called the beauty of modeling. That's called the beauty of self-learning. I am who I am. Again, I am who I am just because I decided to self-learn at a point. I decided that this system, I knew that standard education means standard result. So if I want special results, I need to get special education. I need to get specialized education, specialized knowledge. And specialized knowledge is like it's broken down. It's very niche specific. It's like focused on one thing. And you know that one thing, you master it, you develop a skill, and you convert your dreams into realities. That's the way. Self-learning. Every great successful person is a product of self-learning. You're always learning. You can either learn from your own experiences, and you can either learn from somebody else's experiences, or maybe you can either learn from both. And that's the way you learn from both. You learn a lot from somebody else's experiences, and then you learn a little bit from your own experiences as well. So, and then even though you go on his path, you end up creating your own. You end up creating your own uniqueness. That is the beauty of life. I don't know why this happens, but if you step out of yourself, if you set your ego aside and then you say, okay, I'm gonna learn this, even though you learn the same thing, there's something unique about you because nobody has experienced life in the way you do, right? Nobody has your eyes, for God's sakes. Nobody has your eyes, nobody has your nose, nobody has your hands, and nobody has your heart and soul. Only you have that. So that is the beauty of life. Learning just saves you a lot of time. So if you rely on the system, if you rely on the education system still, Like maybe I'll do my FSC, maybe I'll get my degree, and then I'll figure out what I do. No, that's too late. Figure out what you want to do right now. And I am not implying that do not enjoy that process. I always say happiness isn't. Some people, I just want to clear this point because some people may say that, okay, he's always success oriented. Why is he success oriented people are not happy? That's not the way. I believe you can be happy and success oriented at the same time. You can be happy, you can find the joy in the journey. That's what I believe. That's what I do. That's what I live. And just because that's what I live, that is what I preach. So I will see you in the next one, and it will mean a great lot of deal to me if you take a moment, go down, hit that red button. What's that called? Subscribe? Yeah, it's called subscribe. Go down, subscribe, and leave a comment about what you thought about this episode and what are your thoughts about self learning. I would love to hear to them. So I'll see you